unlock more of God's purpose for your life and turn that into a profitable, purposeful, and business that will help a lot of people. So as you come on today, say hello so that we could say hello back to you. And tonight's going to be a little different. We're going to share with you exactly how you can unlock what's inside of you, remove all of that fear, and be able to get your business off the ground and start it. So as you come on, let me know where you're tuning in from. Drop in the comments if you're catching this during the live or the replay. And also let me know what type of business that you are thinking about starting, or what is your superpower. So before we get started, guys, if you can do as I'm about to do right now, as we always do, go ahead and hit that share button. I am going to share this out to some people, and I'm asking you to do the same thing for me. So let me go ahead and get that shared. Got one place there, got one more. We're going to get it shared too, and then we're going to dive right in. We got a lot going on. Feel free to put your comments in as we go through this so that you could communicate and let me know what you're thinking, where you're at in terms of your business and your growth and what you have going on, so that we can help you. So let me go ahead and hit post here. All right, well, we got that posted. I'm going to go ahead and set this down. I want to welcome you all out again tonight. My name is Kathy McReynolds. If this is your first time tuning in, we help people create the business that they desire by doing it with biblical purposes. And why do we do that? Because, man, I've been in business for about, 30 years now. And I find that the best seasons that I had were the seasons that I've involved God. Sometimes we go through life, or at least I have, without involving him in our business or our day-to-day life. And I just want to be able to share and help people do the same things, because there's so much peace. Business is hard enough. Life is hard enough. If you don't have that source to go to and to be able to help you out, it's even harder. So hopefully this will help you guys and bring you the clarity that you need in making that decision as to what type of business you want to start, how you want to get it started, and if we can help you to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take myself off of this screen, and we're going to get this party started right now. And do me a favor, don't forget to hit that share button. Just go ahead. I got to figure out how to do that on when I set it up. I forgot to do that. So if I can get, I'm gonna. Oh wait, I wonder if I hit stop video. If I hit stop video and we all go away, then yeah, come back. All right, because here I go. All right. Well, it's still there and we're still working. So welcome, everybody. We're excited to have you out tonight. We're going to talk about how to unlock the hidden business secrets to success in the Bible. This is Bible Business Academy, and it's a new program. So we're excited to have it out and to be able to share it with you guys so that you can obtain the success that you desire. So here at Bible Business Academy, our focus is to help you bring focus and direction to a whole new generation of entrepreneurs and help them find success in business and spirituality. It is safe to say that nearly everyone is seeking joy, peace, and more success in a more successful life, and they're not finding that in business. And so that's why we want to help them to be able to make that happen. So just ask yourself that question: why do so few people create success in business and in life? And here's why I think it is, especially in business. A lot of people just focus on the money instead of serving or solving a problem. So ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, what is it that you focus on? Do you focus on, I got to get that paycheck, I got to get paid, I got to make that money? Or, hey, let me see if I can help someone solve their problem today. Let me see how I can make the difference in their life and be able to solve that problem. And I'm going to try to get my chat up here in case you guys are chatting with me, because I can't see it. Let me see. So give me a second, y'all. And let's see if I can see the chat. Nope. Okay. Well, I can't see the chat. So if you're chatting now, save those questions. Just keep chatting and I will get that tour. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I might have it right here. Got it. Let's see. I thought I had the chat up. Okay. I got the chat up. Now I just need to move it out of the way. Everyone publicly save chat. All right. Well, I'm going to have to minus it down. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to learn Zoom a little bit more here. So most people focus on money instead of serving or solving problems. So if you just know, if you just do what I'm going to share with you next, and if it's you do this for the rest of your business career, for the rest of everything that you do, it will be worth your time tonight. And some of you who have been around, you already know what I'm going to say. Work for God and not for people. Guess what, y'all? It's not about you. It's about the people that you will serve. And you know, as in Colossians 3:23, when they say work willingly at whatever you do, as though you are working for the Lord rather than people. When you do that, I'll use myself as an example. When you do that, something just seems to change about you. Something just seems to change about all of the stuff that you're doing, all of the you stop and you say, okay, how would this help someone? Am I impacting? Will God look at me and smile and say, hey, good job, my well done, my good and faithful servant. If you can focus on things like that, and if you can make that happen, life will be so much better. So here's what we do. Bible Business Academy reveals success secrets from the Bible and proposes a new way to view and approach success, one based upon key concepts from the Bible that are actually surprisingly simple. A lot of people think it's complicated, but it really, really is simple. And that's what we share with you of how to make that happen. Now, what you have to do, it may be challenging, especially if you've never done it before, but the actual concepts of what we do and what you do are very, very simple. This webinar is especially for those seeking success in the realms of business and spirituality. It encourages you to realize the common mistakes made and how to come to terms with them and turn those mistakes into future victories. So if you're looking for some future victories and you're in the chat, just go ahead and put yes, amen, whatever you want to put in there. Let me know that that's something that you're looking for. Bible Business Academy is filled with solid advice for improved finances, spirituality, and peace. You'll discover a practical approach that aims to change not just the minds, but the actions. See, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind so that your actions can change. But the actions of current and aspiring entrepreneurs, coaches, teachers, preachers, business owners, anybody with a self-evident and a persuasive path, you want to do something, you want to go somewhere, you just need help getting there. That's what we're here for. So the very first thing that you want to do, guys, is you want to be preparing in faith for a new business. And what does that mean? I'll tell you the story of Georgia. You may be like her. She's been creating Bible resources for her Sunday school for years. She loved getting to design the beautiful study pages. That was exciting to her. And when the women's ministry leaders saw her work, she encouraged Georgia to begin selling her creations on Etsy as digital products. Now, think about that. Some of you are probably like Georgia out there. Maybe you've been baking cakes, or maybe you've been teaching or counseling selling or helping someone, and someone says to you, you should sell that. Like, this is really, really good. So if that's you, then pay attention here. Georgia did some reading about Esty and how it worked, and she prayerfully decided to give it a try. And so you notice what she did is same thing Nehemiah did. Whenever you're looking at doing something, make sure you start it in prayer. And to her surprise, when she did that, she received her first sale within just a few hours of uploading a collection of worksheets. A funny story I always tell everyone: when I first got started in the online industry, I took a 30-day class. I'd been an entrepreneur for about 25 years. And prior to that, I had, my line was, I am high touch, not high tech. So it was around day 27. And they said, you should start making money. And I'm like, what? This is not making sense. How am I make money? And so I went back through all of my material. That night I worked about 20 hours. The next day I literally pulled a 24-hour. About 10 o'clock the final day on the 30th, I got done, went upstairs, took a shower, came back downstairs, and had $350 in my account. And I think my program at that time was like $27 or $37. So I was super excited because every sale that I had made prior to that, I was sitting, as we say, kneecap to kneecap, belly button to belly button to someone. So to be able to make a sale without being there and to have it happen online, I was like, I am all in on this, because all I saw was the ability to impact more people without me being present on that. So here's what happened with Georgia. When she made those sales, what she did was upload more of her digital products, because if it worked, you keep doing it, right? And filling her shop with resources for those in the women's ministry. She started making good money, and 2 months later, when her husband lost her job, they were still able to pay the bills thanks to her business. So guys, you can start a business out part-time. You can start it by accident. You never know how God's going to send that to you. So just remain open. Looking back, Georgia sees God's provision through the ministry suggestions. Few things are scarier. I get it. It's scarier than starting a new business. And even though you're going through biblical principles of doing that, we're all at a different stage. So it could be scary to get something started. Many business owners do fail within their first 3 years of business, and startlingly, a high number experience debt and bankruptcy. And that's not something we want you to have. So we teach you, because the Bible talks so much about not getting in debt, not being in debt. So we want to show you how to build a business without that happening. But before we even get there, we want to talk to you about the mindset and how to prepare for a new business. But just as God led the Israelites through the wilderness, he can lead you through starting a new business venture. I think this will be a lot easier. Here are 4 signs that God is calling you to a new business. Sign number 1, you can't get the idea out of your head. In the chat, let me know what business ideas or what you keep thinking about, what's in your head. Like, what is it that you keep thinking about that you're like, man, I can't get this out of my head. I want to do this. Or you've been thinking about it for years, or you get all of these different ideas in your head and you're like, I don't know which one to go with. Sign number 2 could be you're passionate about serving. Maybe you're helping, like she was helping people within the women's ministry and putting stuff together. Maybe you make t-shirts for people. Maybe you cook dinner. Maybe you bake cakes. If that's you and you're passionate about doing that, then that could turn into a business. And also, sign number 3, you're getting great feedback. Have you ever had that feedback where people say, man, that fried chicken you made was just amazing. I really, really loved it. Or, you know what, when you sat down with me the other day and you helped me with some stuff that I was going through, it really impacted me and I appreciate that. Or when you help my kid with their homework, they got an A and then they were able to get this scholarship. See, all of those things are the feedback that you want to pay attention to, because it may not even have been the business that you thought you were going to start. It could be something completely new. And then the other thing, guys, is the timing is right. When you look at what you're going through in life, you know that you're not where you want to be. You know, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And it just seems like, if not now, when? When am I going to get that started? So it is definitely the right time to make that happen. So if you have one of these experiences, or one or many of these experiences, that could be a sign that God is calling you to a new business. So you want to look for that. So if you answer yes, guess what? You're in the right place at the right time. So if you don't already have a pen and paper, I want you to grab that, remove all distractions, and let's get that idea from your head and heart and put it on paper, because that's exactly where you want to start at. When you think of, I can't think of the scripture, but it's a scripture that says, who of you would start a business without a plan and without writing it down? This is what you want to do. You want to always show up to any trainees that you're at with a pen and a paper and be ready to take notes. Today, you're going to finally discover what skill God has for you. In Exodus 35:35, he said he has filled them with skill to do every sort of work done by an engraver or by a designer or by an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, or by a weaver, by any sort of workman or skilled designer. So maybe you're not the engraver, but whatever skill you had, whatever gift you have, comes from God. So you have to recognize that. And some of the ways that you're recognizing those skills are by some of the things that we talked about a few minutes ago and that we're going to talk about. So guys, I have so many people say, but I'm just, as soon as they start with, I'm just a bricklayer. Is that for me? Absolutely. Do you know, if you ever decided to start a school around your local community, teaching people the skill of bricklaying, do you know the amount of lives that you can change? Do you know the amount of people who can't afford or don't want to go to college that you can help them with a skill or trade, and you can set that up? Maybe you're a stay-at-home dad, and there other stay-at-home dads that maybe thought, oh, well, this shouldn't be for me. I should be the man out there and working and not the stay-at-home dad. Maybe you can start a community of helping other stay-at-home dads understand why it's important to have that role and to enjoy that role, and the you two working together as partners. Maybe you're a dancer, maybe you're an MLM banker, you could be a tax advisor, insurance agent, a financial advisor. So you can have a hobby and you can turn it into a business. There's a lady that's online that makes corsets. Those are those things that they used to use back in the day that suck your stomach in. So she literally helps people make those around the world and makes about 30 to 40 grand a month doing that. There's someone else online who teaches people how to jump rope, and just simply by teaching them how to jump rope with those lessons, they're making over $1 million doing that. So you never know where your gift is, but it's right there in front of you. And so a lot of times people try to look beyond what they're doing every single day, that they miss the message. So go back to when I said, are people constantly complimenting you? Are people talking about how you are helping them? Those are signs that you want to pay attention to, and we want to show you how to do that. So when you want to discover your God-given business ideas, here's some of the things that you want to think about. Take a screenshot of this. What business ideas can you not stop thinking about? That's what we just talked about. What is it? List them all down. If you have more than one on your paper right now, list them down. If you want to share any of those in the comments, go ahead and share those in the comments in the notes section. Are you passionate about serving people? Maybe you're that person who you like to bake because it's something you can do by yourself, but if somebody wants to learn how to do it, you don't mind hopping on the video and showing them what you're doing or how you're doing it, or do you simply want to make money? You got to ask yourself that question. Or are you that person who want to just put together a recipe and just send it to people and say, here's the recipe, you can figure out how to do it? You have to be honest with you, know where you're at, know who you are, so that you can create the best business for yourself. Number 3, have you been sharing your creations with family and friends? How often do they see what you do? If they're looking for, that handyman in the area, in the neighborhood, are they calling on you? What feedback are you hearing? See, all of these things you need to always be aware of so that you can determine what level of success that you can create by taking your hobby or something you do without even thinking about it and turning that into a business. And then once you decide that, there's ways inside of the class that we show you if that's a valid business idea, because some of the stuff that you have, even though you're thinking of, it may not be the right time for that business. Maybe there's something else that you'll start with. And speaking of timing, that's the next thing that you look at. Is the timing right? Maybe if you just had a newborn baby, the timing is not right. Maybe if you just started a new job or you started school, maybe the timing is not right. But if everything is right, that you spend maybe 3, 4, 6 hours scrolling through Facebook or on TV, then yes, the timing could be right for you. You just have to realign that. And have you prayed over it? And everything you do, you never cease praying. So you always want to start out with a prayer. And some of the answers you get could be through a ad coming through talking about what you were just thinking about doing, someone reaching out to you, a promotion coming up. You want to start being aware of these things that you're thinking about so that you can decide, is this the business God is calling me to do? And who have you asked to pray with you to consider this new adventure? Always partner up with someone. Always say to someone, I'm thinking about doing something. Can you pray for me? Can you pray with me? And that is something that you always want to make happen for yourself. Now, there's conversations it's just going to be between you and God, that we definitely understand that. But when you're getting ready to make a decision that's going to be a public decision anyway, get your spouse, get your best friend, get somebody who is in alignment, someone who's already told you that you're doing great, who's giving you great feedback. Have them pray with you, because when 2 or more are joined together, great things happen. So you definitely want to utilize this. So if you're looking at creating an online course and you're looking at that for a biblical principle, it is one of the best models out there. That's forever. 100% of the profit goes to you. That's one reason why a lot of people decide to get into the educational business. It's a $350 billion industry. And especially in the situations and times that we're going through now, people are turning to online to get their information, to learn more, because they're stuck at home. And then because now it's going to become a habit for them. You don't have to build a big team. That eventually you do want a team, so it can take away your time so you can do the things that you want. There's virtually zero risk. All you're doing is sharing what you used to do for free anyway. Think about it. If a lot of you teach or counsel or help people, it's something you probably have already been doing. You never even thought about the money. You were helping people and you were doing that for free. And it's an incredible impact on other people's lives. That's the online course business. So if that's you, this is what you want to consider. Or maybe you're thinking of a product. Maybe you have this product idea that you've been toying around with, or you want to do some drop shipping or something that has to do with being a product. Now, if it's for a product, doing it online is the best business model ever. And you're probably like, well, Kathy, how can both of them be the best business model? Because it depends on the person who wants to do it. A person who wants to do a product may not be as excited about training and doing an educational business, and vice versa. The difference between a product and information is a product, you're going to only have about 45% profit that goes back to you. So all of these things you should know up front. You still don't have to build a big team because you can do some drop shipping. You can pre-sell things before you even have to buy it. It is low risk when you do it that way. And you also still get the opportunity to impact others. So as I'm going through this, what skills have God given you? What are some of the things that He has put in your heart, or some of the things that people have talked to you about, told you you're good at, and you want to turn those into a product, a program, an online course? It can even be something offline. Bible Business Academy, once everything is over, it will be an offline building where you'll see Bible Business Academy, where people can literally come in and learn business skill, marketing skills, sales skills, all of that taught with using, we're bringing God back into the schools, right? If they don't do it, I created my own. That's how you have to look at that. So whatever He has put on you to do, you can do it. So the next thing that you want to decide is, who is God calling you to serve? Because not like if I have the idea, hey, yeah, so I want to do this training and I want to do it all in Spanish, then I know that I'm just probably making that up in my head, because besides taking 4 years of Spanish in school, I know very few words like "si, senor," television. Those are the only things I pretty much remember, or how to count uno, dos, tres, cuatro. So I know that wouldn't be my target audience to have a class in Spanish, and so that I'm helping that demographic. So you got to look at what you're coming up with. Now, could I hire, like in Bible Business Academy, once I get the idea that He planted inside of me, I can then take that idea and hire someone who does speak Spanish, so that we can expand out and have this business in different languages. That's something that we can definitely happen, but it comes later in the process. And I share that with you because I don't want you to get, overwhelmed with, I have to have the perfect business, the perfect ideal. No, you start and then you build upon it. Most entrepreneurs have between 15 to 20 businesses. So we never know which one is going to take off, but you want to get started. And we want you to start with the one that's the easiest and the simplest, that will produce a profit. So then you can take that money and start building it into other businesses. So you got to ask yourself, who naturally gravitates towards you? Is it young people, old people, rich people, poor people, men, women? Like, who naturally gravitates towards you? We never say, discriminate, but when you're choosing your audience, that is the time to be very specific about an audience that you're going to serve, because the way you speak to them, the message. Even think about how Jesus spoke to people when He was delivering His message to people. He would and His disciples said, teacher, why do you say different things to the crowd than you say to us? And He went to explain, because the knowledge that you have is completely different from the knowledge that they have. So I have to speak to them in general terms, and I have to speak to you a different way. This is why, if you're helping young teens, choose a career, and they're between the ages of 16 and 24, that's a totally different conversation than if you're helping someone who's ready to retire. Let's just say a single mom ready to retire, how to transition into the empty nest and being able to have money for the future, living alone. Two totally different conversations, two totally different niches. So you want to know who is gravitating towards you, and also you want to understand you may see overlap. So like the overlap that you may see in that, we call it the 80-20 rule. You pick 80% of your people may fit into your ideal market and your ideal business and what you do. And then that 20% are people who are just going to come anyway. They just want to see it. And maybe because it wasn't for them, but I know a guy. I'll give you an example. I know a guy who does online coaching, and he always uses like sports and fights and just masculine stuff to advertise. Well, it was something that because I love sports, so that attracted me, but the majority of his people were all men, so that's an overlap. And though another way you can look at an overlap is, like I mentioned, if somebody wants to learn the skills that we teach in Spanish, but I'm not prepared yet to help them, that can be an overlap as well. So I can also hire someone to do that, or I can say coming soon we're going to be doing that. Or if it's a different part of the business, and maybe at the beginning all you want to do is teach one part, but it also involves another part, all of that will eventually happen. So overlap is okay. And guys, don't be afraid of a new business. Don't be afraid to do something different than what you do at your full-time job. Don't be afraid to do something different of what you do if you're volunteering, because there could be something else that works for you. Like myself, I have been an entrepreneur offline for 25 years. Although I used to teach and train financial advisors. I owned a daycare center. So in some avenue, I was always teaching, training, and helping people. And I'm like, you know what? I've always had a brick and mortar. How is this working from home thing going to be? And I literally fell in love with it. It cut down all the costs and the expenses of running a brick and mortar. I didn't have to leave my house in the wintertime. And so, like, when a lot of people are panicking about what's happening now, I'm like, hey, I've been doing this for the last couple of years. So never be afraid to start something. Just try it. If you don't like it, I tell the kids with food, try it. If you don't like it, you can spit it out. Try the new business. If you don't like it, you can stop doing it. This is why entrepreneurs have between 15 to 20 businesses that they've started. And sometimes they get lucky up front or blessed up front. They find the one that's the right one, and sometimes that never happens, and that's okay either way. So always too, guys, avoid business envy. And you sometimes you'll sit and you'll look at someone and you'll be like, well, dang, how they always getting success, why they do this. That's probably why, because you're worried about what they're doing instead of worrying about what you're doing. What's for you is for you. You got to understand that and know that God put something in them for you to enjoy. That's, maybe they can sing good. I always joke and say, in my next lifetime, I'm going to come back and become a singer. Well, that's not a gift that he gave me, if you guys have ever heard me singing, but he gave other people that gift so that I can have enjoyment from it. So you want to change the way you think about things. Instead of thinking like, why don't I have what they have? You want to say, man, isn't that a blessing that God chose them to do this? And he thought even enough of me that I can enjoy it. So that's how you have to look at it. If they have a business that's successful, you can say, man, that's so exciting that somebody lived out their dreams and that they're doing what they're doing. Maybe I can go to them and get some tips. Successful people don't mind sharing tips. So avoid business envy. It will stop you from moving forward. Here's some things you want to consider. What naturally gravitates towards you? Who do you love helping? Small things, but big when it comes to having success. Why is that huge? Because when you find out what's gravitating towards you and how do you love helping people, you will work to serve, you will work to solve problems instead of working to get a paycheck. It's kind of like people, working on a job that they hate so that they can just get that paycheck every 2 weeks so that it can pay the bills. They live a miserable life. You don't want to have a miserable business. You want to have peace in what you do, because that's what God is about. It's about peace. And when you lead with love, and when you lead with serving, you'll have peace as you're building it, because it's not going to always be, you know, you're not gonna, it's not gonna always be easy. You're gonna have trials and you're gonna have tribulations, but when you have peace and you love what you're doing, you handle it differently. And that's just like people say, if you're having challenges, go help someone else. And that's how you can look at your business. Even you can even help a couple people for free. Get started and help them out. Number two, do you see potential overlap in your tribe? Could you see yourself serving more than one audience? We just talked about that. Maybe it's that young crowd who's trying to get a career, or it could be that older person who's ready to retire but don't have enough money, and they also need a career. So that could be an overlap. Have you ever been called to serve another business owner? Has anyone, like, I know I just reached out to someone yesterday, I believe it was, because I knew that they had they worked for a company and they did their training program. And so I want to take all of our trainings and have someone professionally go through and put them all together and fix up my language in there. And so I'm either going to have them doing it, I'm interviewing a couple people, so that so when you're looking at other business owner, maybe someone will call you. I just got off a long training that I was on today. It was about 8-9 hours, where I'm learning more stuff so that I can help some more people. So because you always want to be a student, and when you're called to do something, I had a friend who just opened up an auto mechanic business in the car wash, and he asked me to help with their marketing. So those are things that people will start calling and asking you questions about. My nephew just texted me today. Well, he called when I was about to start this and say, hey, I got a business idea. Like, I'm always getting those phone calls. Hey, I got this business idea. Hey, I was thinking about this. Hey, can you help me with this? That's what you want to look for. That's when you know you have a niche. And if you were ever tempted to envy another business owner, stop it, and stop it now. But ask yourself, what prompted that emotion? Why are you jealous? And one of the things that I want you to really, really dig deep in, a lot of jealousy and envy comes from your